Athletic's latest agent survey has labelled Benjamin Šeško as the worst summer signing. And as you know, there's no bias on here towards Manchester United, so we think that's absolute rubbish. As usual, get involved with your own opinions in that comment section, and we'll try and discuss some of your comments and opinions throughout today's video. I have got to start off with first, something I noticed this morning picking you up. You look invigorated. Has that weekend done you well?
Reinvigorated. What a weekend I've had. Nice and relaxed. Monday morning, can't wait for the rest of the week. I only hope that everyone out there is in the same mood as I am. I just can't wait. The Liverpool game on Sunday, I am reinvigorated. Kept away from football. I'm here and I'm bouncing.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, there is no bias on here.
There's never is any bias towards Manchester United, as you all very well know.
Yeah.
But I've got to be honest with you, a good smile on your face this morning.
Yeah.
You feel like you have actually had a good, positive weekend. And it looks like the international break has done you good. It's done myself good, to be honest with you. Just to restock on the current situation of Manchester United. Get involved with your comments as well if you're looking forward to that Liverpool game on the weekend.
Can I just interrupt you before you...
You can do whatever you like.
I was even called an angel. And I can't ever remember being called that before for being helpful. So that's the mood I'm in. Sorry to interrupt you, son, but I'm in a glowing mood.
Was it my mum who called you an angel?
Certainly wasn't.
I thought so. But just getting back onto the article now. The agent survey, which was done in The Athletic. The Athletic asked 20 Premier League agents for their views on the best and worst deals of the 25 summer window. Sesko's £73.6 million move to Manchester United got the most votes with 6 for the worst signing. Comments included, way too much money and much too soon. They were pressurised into making that signing, and a lot of money for not much pedigree. Got there in the end with a bit of a tongue twister. But yeah, I think that's absolute rubbish.
Well, it is. Agents talking about way too much money. I mean, they've got some cheek, haven't they? Let's have it right. The price is right. The market dictates whatever a player goes for. So for agents to turn around and moan and criticise about way too much money when it's them what pocket most of it anyway, seems absolutely ridiculous from me. But it's a survey and the Athletic's done it, and there's a lot more to come. But for me, not way too much money. I did say at the time, it is what it is. That's the market, and I always thought 60-70 million pound was the going rate for most players now, for good players, and I think he is a good player.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the article, it said City's £25.9 million deal for Donnarumma and Everton's loan for Grealish were voted the best transfers. And you've got to look at Benjamin Šeško. Anyway, it was based on potential. We know we weren't buying the finished article right now.
Yeah, but we bought Sesko, and you can't compare him to Donnarumma or anything like that, because Donnarumma's not a striker. So for me, you know, when they're trying to compare and all that, it makes nonsense of the survey. And in my opinion, it's sort of one of those surveys and a little story coming out because it's been a quiet weekend for news, really. Nothing's come out talking about Maguire, Bruno and Le Mans, just gossip. So for this to come out, I think it just shows you it is an international break.
Yeah, because it's Manchester United. It's labelled as one of the worst, or the worst summer signing. If he'd have signed probably for Liverpool, Arsenal or Manchester City,
world beater,
they would have said he's a world beater or it's a genius bit of business. So we're all accustomed to it. We're used to it, though, as Manchester United fans. But my point of doing this video was to support Benjamin Šeško and support the players, especially going into a huge weekend against Liverpool.
Yeah, it turns out, you know, in that survey, it says one of the questions that they were pressured into paying the money, into getting Sesko. Sesko was always on the list, and they went down the list, and that's what you do. So for me, saying they were pressured into buying him, they weren't pressured into buying him. They were always going for a striker, and they had options, and we did discuss the options right the way through that summer, and he was always on the list. So for me, he's a good young player, future ahead of him, and he has got goals, plays for his country. So for me, yeah, he's not a finished product. They turn round, criticise him for not being the finished product. Who is at 22? So again, bit more criticism heaped on United for being pressurised to buy him and that. But it's a survey, and it's part of journalism to criticise United. When it's a slow week, let's go out there and let's ram it down the United fans' throats.
Yeah, well, it's a quiet week. What gets the most clicks, and that's Manchester United, especially when it's negativity towards a player like Sesko. And you've got to look at it. Newcastle actually offered more money for Sesko than what we were actually offering and what we actually got him for. But again, if it had actually ended up going to Newcastle, you wouldn't have seen a headline like this and as many votes as what he got. In my opinion anyway, but maybe I'm being a little bit biased.
No, well, you've seen the media going into overdrive. Newcastle are going to get him and United failed to get a striker. That's all you've seen. And they were really gloating that Newcastle could have got a striker, a player, chose Newcastle instead of Manchester United. So they were ready to go into overdrive. But, there is always an alternative they can find to put a downer on it. And this is just part of the process, what journalists do.
I mean, you got Florian Wirtz there. You're looking at the price tag there. Any Liverpool fans, you knew it was coming. He's in that 007 club now. No goals or assists in the actual Premier League. You're looking at Isak too. Yeah, Isak is Premier League proven. But you've got to also look at Garnacho. I was looking at him. Where's he on the list? He's not had many minutes over at Chelsea, but, that's not all due to him getting up to match speed. He's been sat on the bench there because he can't get into the actual starting 11 for most games to me. And, yeah, it's £40 million, less than what we paid for Sesko, but still big expectations there for Garnacho, and he's not done nothing yet.
I mean, off the top of my head, looking at, the worst signing of the summer has to be what Liverpool paid for Ekitike.
Do you think?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. What an attitude that player is. Down in tools and everything. Going against everything.
You mean Isak?
Why did I say Ekitike?
Yeah, Isak. He does actually play for him, though, Ekitike.
Yeah, he does. I got mixed up. But then that's me Monday morning giddy. No, Isak, without a shadow of a doubt, has to be the worst.
We can throw Ekitike in there as well if you want, because we are playing Liverpool.
No. I'm not going to throw that. I'm going to throw Isak in it because of his attitude and what he did to get the move and everything. He could have just stayed at Newcastle, worked it out and that. No, but he threw a strop. That is not the type of player you want to come into your club and that. And the same as Gyökeres, the way he sort of went on about his sport in Lisbon and criticising the manager and the president and everything. So there's worse out there. You don't want a player with that attitude. So for me, they're two strikers there at the top of the list. Sesko, nice easy move and everything. Nice young fella, nice attitude and that. Listen to him. But them two, no, they're way ahead. There's worse. But that's the way of the world, isn't it? It's Man United.
It did say he's not got much pedigree, but he's got experience at international level for Slovenia. He's got actual pedigree and experience in the Champions League and the Bundesliga. I mean, and he's only still a young lad in relative terms.
Yeah, he's still a young lad. He's 22. He's playing for his country, like you say. He's played in the Champions League and he's scored 22 goals in all competitions. That's what you want. Of course, he's not the ideal striker at the moment. He's still young and he will improve in that. But that is what United go for. They've looked at him. They've looked at his pedigree and thought, right, this is a striker. What can improve? And will he improve? Of course he will, because look who he's with. He's with two professionals there who have played in the Premier League, proven players in Kuna and in Mbeumo. They will improve him. He will get chances created and he will put the ball away. He scored a couple of goals now. He didn't really start straight away and he'll get in the groove. So for me, he's got the players around him to make him a better player, and that's what you want.
Ray Carl Brown from our members club says the man has scored 2 goals in his last 2 games. It's the typical media. Richie says Sesko is a Christopher Vivell signing. He knows what he's doing. Some man for one man says on Sunday we'll be singing Sesko is mental, and let's hope he gets on the score sheet. I mean, to me, when I've looked at it in the last couple of games, especially that goal against Sunderland, that's where you want your striker to be. And they're the sort of goals I want to see from a striker. I like them sort of goals he scored than it would do with, like, let's say, a 20, 30-yard screamer out of the box, because, you're going to get more goals like that inside the penalty area, aren't you?
Listen, you just want Sesko against Liverpool right in that box. ready to get anything and snap it up. Now, I've seen him there, and he sort of jumps in.
It's his anticipation to it.
It's his
yeah.
anticipation. That's what you want from a striker, and he'll learn. Now, no better place, right, than going to Liverpool and putting the ball in the net, and all these doubters and everything else like that, because it's Man United criticising, they'll criticise over anything. Put the ball in the net, Sesko. That's all I'm asking for, and I'm looking forward to it. And if he gets that in there, right, he will be a hero. Absolute hero for putting it in, just like John O'Shea was when he put the ball in the net at Anfield.
Yeah, agents are just looking at hype and resale value, etc., aren't they? They're not really looking at whether Sesko fits into a system and some of the bits he is doing actually in games. I am actually really impressed with his runs, though, that he makes. I mean, going to Rasmus Højlund there, I've known a lot of you coming onto the channel, you know, mentioning about Højlund recently with the goals he's scoring over there, and the best of luck to him.
Yeah.
But I've seen far too many straight runs from Højlund last season where I'm seeing something with Sesko where he's actually thinking about it, you know, looking to get on the shoulder of the defender and making like your diagonal runs just to give him something to think about and creating more space for his teammates as well.
Well, I look at Sesko, he fits in the club's plans, what they want going forward. Okay, he's got the experience around him, and you just say to yourself, did Rasmus Højlund have everything available for him? The players around him, were they too greedy? Was the system not providing enough crosses and that? Was there enough quality in the team? I think he was let down, but I don't think Sesko will be let down. I think United, if you look at what's gone on this year, they're creating more chances than any other Premier League side. So once Sesko gets into it, I think you'll see a really good striker, and that's what you want. Will he be fantastic this year? I hope so, but I'm not expecting that. I just want to see him put the ball in the net, and he will just get better and better. And there's no better place now than go to Anfield and just shutting everyone up and then just kicking on from there.
Yeah, it does show the difference between football logic and agent optics, in my opinion, when they're assessing what goes on with these deals, etc. But Crispy Bacon says, Crispy Bacon, I like a bit of Crispy Bacon. Sesko has already 2 goals and assists and not played all the games. Yeah, you've got to look at it, the games he's actually played this season as well, and appearances overall. Francis, says, watching you guys from Zambia, Sesko is a good player. He will score against Liverpool, GGMU, 3-1 United. I think a lot of people out there are looking at Liverpool's, you know, performances, especially over the last couple of games, not one in the Premier League. And what's your thoughts going into it?
Into the Liverpool game?
Go on, tell me.
My God, we're going to beat them. We're going to absolutely turn them over. There's no two ways about it. I go back to the other year.
Just start again. You honestly, genuinely believe this? Are you getting everyone at it? Are people at it?
No, I'm not getting everyone at it. I genuinely believe it. I think this weekend, the rest and everything, and getting a freshness in my head, the pressure's on Liverpool. Yeah. You know, and when the pressure's on Liverpool, I seen it the other year. We go to Anfield and we had them over. We had them over because they thought they were going to thrash us, and they didn't do, because United went there determined. And I think this is what's going to happen now. The pressure's on United. Yes, we've got some points on the table. The position looks well. But for Liverpool, they're not firing on all cylinders. They know it. The results are going against them, a couple, right? We know they're a class above us. We know that. I'm not kidding myself there. But football's football. You know, it's not one on paper, it's one on the pitch. And I think United will go there with the plan, determined, and they'll fight. You know, they held them off last time, 0-0. So for me, going there, I look at him and think, Sesko's there, Kuna's there, and Mbeumo. They'll have a role to play, and then they'll break, and they'll hopefully catch Liverpool. And that's what they're going with. They'll go with that plan. So for me, I'm right up for this game, and I think the players will, and I think all the fans should be right up for it. Going there, should be looking at it as disappointing. Again, Liverpool are apprehensive of Man United coming to Anfield, because we know anything can happen.
Definitely a bit of a wounded animal at the moment, Liverpool, and you've got to look at that City game as well. They lost the 2 previous Premier League games, and look what happened there. And they have got some quality players in that squad, but is some pressure getting to him? Premier League champions right now, so time will tell. But I'm looking forward to that game on the weekend. Let me tell you, some man for one man. Good luck to Højlund, decent servant to the club. Sesko looks a level above though, far more intelligent. Dan Fenton, Sesko is a very good striker, 1,000 times better than Højlund. Scott Farrell, sorry lads, it's absolute pure hope at this stage, which, to be fair mate, a lot of signings are still gambles, whether they've got Premier League experience or not, aren't they? You know, fitting into a new club, new way of playing. So at the moment, just try and let's get behind Sesko. At the moment, to me, in my opinion, he has shown signs that he will develop into a top quality striker. So, yeah, fingers crossed.
I won't exactly say he's 1,000 times better than Højlund. He looks better than Højlund. There's no two ways about it. His anticipation is there, and he wants it. So for me, I look at it and I say, yeah, go to Liverpool. If he gets that goal, that'll be the icing on the cake for him, having 2 goals and a couple of assists, you know what I mean? But then you look at the Liverpool game and you say to yourself, he's not the only one we should be looking at. We're looking at Le Mans as well. You know, reasonable performance when he turned up the other week. So for me, people are going over the top on Le Mans' performance, but he looks a solid goalkeeper. So you've got to say, let's hope he puts in a performance. Let's hope Sesko puts in a performance, because them 2 players, they will be under the scrutiny. But I've got high hopes for Le Mans going in, but I think people sort of going way over the top on Le Mans at the moment. He's got a lot to do and he is under a lot of pressure, but he looks capable of handling the pressure, so that's a good sign going into that Liverpool game.
Sometimes all social media and hype, it can all be about the here and now instead of the past or the future. But for me, Le Mans, good start. And I think the most important thing from that game was for him to come away from the Sunderland match with a clean sheet.
Yeah, I think it was important to come away with a clean sheet, but it was also important to come away with a competent performance. And whatever he did, coming out off his line, coming out punching, catching the ball, everything else like that, it was a competent performance. Just some people seem to be going way over the top. Clearly a massive improvement on that performance for competency than it is for Onana. So for me, I'm really looking forward to it. You know, when you look at it, Le Mans a competent goalkeeper, and you've got a striker there who's keen.
Let's be honest with ourselves, and I said it a few times, I think you agreed, I'm not sure, but we just needed a goalkeeper to come in and do the basics, and that was just catching a ball. I mean, because that's how bad it had got with Andre Onana and Bayinde for me as well, when you look at some of the performances that he's put in this season. And then it looks like we've got a goalkeeper who can at least do the basics. Looks like a really solid guy as well, you know what I mean? Someone down to earth, where I don't think the pressure's really going to affect him. He doesn't look like that character to me at the moment. But I'm just going to go back into the chat. Ansel, afternoon guys from sunny Turkey, just chilling on holiday. Liverpool are getting beat 2-1. And he's saying Sesko with a late winner. Hopefully he leaps like a salmon over Van Dijk to smash that header in the net, mate. But I'm with you on that one. Board Devil Boy says we're going to Anfield to park the bus. Hopefully. I mean, what is?
I don't think we've got the players to park the bus, to be honest with you. When you look at the team, how it's set up and everything, I don't think it's parking up the bus time, and I think Liverpool will know that. I just don't see United parking up the bus. I don't see how they're capable.
Yeah, they're just sitting there defensively. I don't know, actually. You know, you look at a couple of games last season, what we've done, especially when, you know, you look Arsenal on the top of my head away in the FA Cup. You know, we kind of did really park the bus then. You know, we come away, you know, winning that, was it on penalties?
I don't think Kuna, I don't think Kuna, Mbeumo and Sesko are park the bus up merchants, and then you throw in the mix with Ahmad, and then you throw in the mix. You know, there's not enough defenders there, right, to park the bus. Quality defenders, shall I say. There is plenty of defenders, but quality defenders and a system what can park up the bus for 90 minutes at Anfield. Yes, it was different last year. They just went there with a determination to defend. But this team and the players in it, they're not part of the bus merchants.
Yeah, no, I do get it.
They've been creating too many chances.
I was going to say I'm a lot more confident and positive in terms of the actual attacking output from Manchester United. Yeah, I'd like to see some more goals in some of the games we've played this season, especially when you're looking at the shots and chances created. But it's the defensive side of the actual team, not really individuals, team, that worries me a little bit. So maybe I do agree with you slightly there that, you know, to park the bus at Anfield and trying to contain the pressure that Liverpool will give us, I think that's maybe not a good game plan, to be honest. We maybe got to just take it to him in certain positions that we have got key players like Cunha and Mbeumo. Try and get them on the ball as much as possible. But then again, I'm going a little bit too early here saying Cunha. Could Mason Mount get a start ahead of him when you look at his goal against Sunderland?
That's a shout.
What do you think out there? Is it Mason Mount and Mbeumo and Sesko? Or is it Mbeumo, Mount and Cunha? Does Sesko come off the bench?
With Harry Maguire running up right behind him.
Yeah.
That's a centre half.
As long as we don't...
Eye up.
Well, yeah, as long as we see him playing off the wing like we've seen him do, especially like when you go back to, was it Bilbao away last season in the Europa League? The only thing I don't want to see is Harry Maguire in the last 10 minutes of the game being played up front, because you know then it's like we've got to be chasing the game and we're trying to chase a goal or two. So let's hope we don't see that in the last 10 minutes, because that'd be great.
Well, what might upset the rhythm, shall I say, is if Ruben Amorim starts making the changes again with the back three and all that, with 20 minutes to go. You want a side out there what knows they've got to fight for 90 minutes, not with an idea of saying, well, you're on and you're going to come off after 60, 65 minutes. You don't want that. We're having one game a week, so there's no need for it in my eyes, and that's been a bit of a bugbear for many United fans out there, watching players like start the game and then being brought off when there's no need. They've got all week. He's got the time with the players. They've got the rest. So they've got to go in. 11 players committed for 90 minutes.
Vincent McDonnell, thanks for your super chat.
Thank you.
Florian Wirtz is by far the worst signing in the EPL. 140 million and he looks bang average. They got the pants pulled down with that deal. Yeah, right now it does look a really bad deal, mate. But like I say, in the football world, sometimes we can get a bit caught up with the here and now. So let's give him a little bit of time. Well, not give him a little bit of time, but, you know, let's wait and see when the end of the season comes, because I remember some absolute clangers from people when Haaland come in and signed for City that he wasn't going to be the player that we all thought he might be, and look what he's done up to now.
Listen, I think it's a good point what he's making. He's not looking value for money. So for me, that's a good shout. Yeah. Listen, he might improve later on, but then that's the same with Sesko. They're calling Sesko the worst summer. So at the end of the day, Sesko will improve. Wirtz, for me, it's a good shout. You might have a point there. Because on the eye, I've not really watched Liverpool. I've just looked at,
we watched them here, though, didn't we? Was it before the United game when they were playing Burnley? Scored a last-minute penalty or something, didn't they? Like, just got away with it. Is it Hannibal who made a tackle on one of their players? But that's the only time I've watched them over a full game.
Well, I'd like to correct that. You watched them. I didn't.
That's absolutely fine.
There you go.
Ansel, agree, lads. Yeah, you did actually.
I did not watch them.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Ansel, agree, lads. Cunha looks off the pace right now. Mount was absolute pivotal in those half spaces. Defence don't know whether to pick him up or not. And to be honest with Mason Mount as well, what I'm impressed with is his actual defensive work as well. The way he can tuck into midfield in that too, because let's be honest with ourselves, it's needed with the two players that we've got to choose from, which is normally Casemiro and Bruno in that midfield too. You need that extra body in there.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. You need that extra body in there. But Mount is more of a forward player, getting on the edge of the box, inside there, and for me, defensive work, that's fine, but he's not here for that. He's not here for that. So for me, if Mount does start, then I think it'll show more signs of like an attacking formation. I honestly believe United are going to attack Liverpool, not constantly, but they'll be prepared and ready to jump at them. catch Liverpool out. And I think, listen, the way Liverpool playing, they're not right on form.
They're not
they're not firing, you're correct. So there is opportunities, and they have conceded goals. So for me, I think United might look at it and say, we might catch Liverpool napping once or twice in this game, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's like Notar says, Wirtz wouldn't be getting, he needs time from the media if he was at United, and I presume he's getting that from the likes of TalkSport and other media outlets out there. And I'm sure if Benjamin Šeško wouldn't have grabbed himself a couple of goals like he's done now, the media would be piling it on him. Well,
if you look at all Liverpool's signing, they're not playing right out of their skin. They're not getting the abuse. They're not getting, oh, they'll just need time and all that. You know, like you say, if them three players was playing for United, right, they'd be getting slaughtered now because they're not performing as people expected them to. So all this, oh, it's all right, he's just signed for Liverpool. It wouldn't be happening at Man United. But then again, we're a bigger club than Liverpool, and the eyeballs are more on Man United. So any Liverpool fan out there listening, don't start screaming and shouting. It's the truth. Because we're not biased on here, are we?
I won't be able to understand you anyway, even if you did. Kevin Dyer, Mount will start. Some man for one man says, the game was on, but I wasn't watching. I know that one's on it. Robbie says, Walter Maid looks a good signing. The one from Newcastle, I think I've seen him with the game against Arsenal the other week. Nikos P, if Wirtz played for and sign that fee to United, the narrative in the press, etc., would be totally different.
Correct.
Like we just said there, totally agree. Ansel, hated, adored, never ignored. Anything to add, though, before we wrap it up?
No, I look at Maguire over the weekend. I did see a few things. Well, I've seen a few things last week. And I completely forgot about Harry Maguire and his court case. That should have come up. So for me, talk of Harry Maguire go to Saudi and all that, and court cases and all that, and a new contract at Man United. There's going to be more speculation about Harry Maguire going forward, but I'll just say it straight out now, and I said it last week. Harry Maguire, yes, he's come back into form, better than he was, but for me, Harry Maguire, at the end of the year, he's got to go. United have got to move on. Bruno, the same again over the weekend, little bits of news, the narrative, Saudi Arabia, he's not going there. Of course he's not going there in January. Common sense tells you that. More than likely go at the end of the season. That's how I look at it. That's me giving an update on people talking, just talking really.
Paper talk.
Paper talk, that's the one.
Just like to thank you all for joining us today, getting involved. If you can help the channel by smashing that like button, subscribing as well if it's your first time, to keep up to date with future content. And we'll be back with another live video tomorrow. So get that notification on,
please.
And we'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy your day, take care, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.